voter ID. This goes even beyond all that. This goes beyond the right to vote. This is the right to know who you're voting for. I love it when they say, we have a right to know if Donald Trump committed any crimes. They have all these bogus crimes with these bogus Democrat prosecutors and the bogus Democrats, juries and cities, and they say, we have a right to know. No, that's different. This is a question about reality. It is a practical question. This man, up to being in charge of the most powerful nation on the face of the earth, with power to launch nuclear missiles, to make decisions about the health and welfare of the United States, the answer is he's not. We know this because the executive privilege order was put out because they don't want you to hear the audio. This is the man who they will not allow to have press conferences on a regular basis. So he's had less press conferences than any modern president, period. This is the man who now has his staff surrounding him when he walks from the helicopter to the White House for two reasons. They don't want you to see him shuffling like people with dementia do, and they don't want him answering any questions. So he's completely under control by the staff, by the people who surround him, because they know what they don't want you to know, because they deal with him on a daily basis. We know it. He doesn't give off-the-cuff speeches. He has talking cards. When he reads the monitor, he even reads the parts where they're giving him direction to pause or turn left. He reads the directions out loud. He has to have the names of the journalists, when he ever does hold a press conference, presented to him with their pictures. He calls for two debates, but it's very narrowly controlled. It's almost contrived. He gets to decide what news organizations that are friendly to him and his administration, they don't want an audience. They don't want open mics, so you can actually have a back and forth. They want to control it. Why? Because he's out of control. That's why. We know less about this president's personal life, personal conduct, what he's actually thinking, than we have with any other president. This is suppressing the vote. That is, we have a right as American citizens to know if the Democrat Party is going to nominate this president for another 4 years, where he would have 4 more years of this, where stage 5 dementia, where there's 7 stages of dementia, can go to the 7th stage and create a constitutional crisis. We have a right to know before we vote. The purpose of this bogus executive privilege claim is to protect Biden from you. So we don't know. But what about Congress? Do they have the right to know? So here's the report. Here's the Hur report right here. One of the reasons he decided, and he says, not to bring charges against Biden, among other reasons, the tradition of not indicting sitting presidents, but of course we know this administration doesn't follow tradition, but nonetheless, is he basically concluded, we interviewed this man. He's not right. He couldn't remember when he was vice president. He couldn't remember other dates about his son. He would get confused. We had eventually the video of his interview with the ghostwriter. Same thing took place. It must be so awful, so totally awful, that Mr. Hur and his prosecutors looked at this and their jaws hit the floor. That's what they don't want you to hear. That's why reprobates like Adam Schiff and the Democrat Party conga line attack Mr. Hur for even saying that was gratuitous. No, that's the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is this man is not capable of actually being president. Who the hell is running this government? Certainly Biden in some respect, but the staff, the cabinet members, the radicals, the 25th Amendment that was adopted in the 1960s was adopted for the purpose of preventing something like this. The 25th Amendment's right here, the Congressional Research Service, 2018. Let me just read this. The 25th Amendment, proposed by Congress in 1965 and ratified by the states in 1967, provides for presidential succession, vice presidential vacancies, and presidential disability. Presidential inability or disability is specifically covered in Section 3, whereby the president may declare a disability. He declares it himself. That ain't happening. And Section 4, whereby disability is declared by the vice president, the majority of the cabinet, or such other bodies may be established by law. No other body was established by law. And rather than this cabinet and this vice president doing what they're supposed to do in the Constitution, uphold their oath, they've circled the wagons. They don't want to lose their jobs. The vice president wants to become president. They have no virtue.